investment world. This podcast is brought to you by Daba, your most comprehensive platform for investing in African stocks, bonds, and managed funds. You can download the Daba app on your favorite Google and Apple app stores. This episode, we look back at October 13th to 17, a week of renewed optimism on the BRVM, the West African Stock Exchange, and one name continues to stand out: Uniwax Côte d'Ivoire. Let's start with some good news. The market kept its upward momentum. The BRVM Composite Index rose by 0.20% to reach 333.28 points. The BRVM 30 Index, which includes the top companies on the exchange, inched up by 0.02% to 164.43 points. Only the BRVM Prestige Index, made up of large, high-quality companies, slightly declined by 0.16% to 139.34 points. Overall, this reflects a mixed but still healthy market dynamic. Trading activity surged sharply this week. Over 15 million shares were exchanged compared to just 5.7 million the previous week. In value terms, total transactions reached 908 billion francs CFA, an increase of more than 10% from the previous week. For investors, such a rise in trading volume signals renewed confidence and growing liquidity, a sign that more market participants are active again, which is typically positive for prices and future momentum. Now, let's look at the week's top performers. Leading the gainers list, Servair Abidjan Côte d'Ivoire saw its share price jump by 29.12%, closing at 2,350 francs CFA. This strong performance came after the company published solid first half and third quarter results, showing revenue growth of about 10% and net income up more than 16%, driven by the recovery in air travel, stronger non-aeronautical activities, and better cost management. But the real star of the week and of the entire year remains Uniwax Côte d'Ivoire. Uniwax, the symbol of Côte d'Ivoire's textile revival, keeps shining bright. Its stock gained 14.86% this week, closing at 1,700 francs CFA. But this weekly rise is only part of a much larger success story. Since the beginning of the year, Uniwax's stock has soared by 306%, climbing from 410 francs CFA in January to 1,665 francs CFA by mid-October. What explains such an incredible rally? The answer lies in a complete financial turnaround. After several tough years, Uniwax has achieved a remarkable recovery. In the first half of 2025, revenue reached 15.7 billion francs CFA, up 12.5% year-on-year. Even more impressive, the company swung from a 1.9 billion francs CFA net loss in the same period last year to a net profit of 8.2 billion francs CFA, a reversal of more than 530%. This is a textbook case of industrial transformation done right. This turnaround is the result of strict cost controls, better inventory management, and higher production efficiency. Management also focused on new product development and expansion into regional export markets, including sourcing raw materials locally within West Africa. For investors, this success story shows how a disciplined business strategy and operational efficiency can turn a struggling company into one of the market's top performers. Today, Uniwax's market capitalization stands at 34.5 billion francs CFA, making it one of the 40 largest listed companies on the BRVM. With a dividend yield of 3.65%, the stock attracts both long-term investors and those seeking regular income. The result? Uniwax has become a model of resilience and a testament to how African manufacturing can create lasting shareholder value. Also on the winners' podium, we find Ecobank Transnational Incorporated, or ETI, which saw its stock price rise by 10.53% to 21 francs CFA. This gain reflects growing investor confidence in the banking sector, supported by stable currency conditions and a recovery in credit activity across the region. On the other hand, a few large-cap companies had a tougher week. TotalEnergies, marketing Côte d'Ivoire, fell by 6.89% to 2,005 francs CFA, following weaker third-quarter results due to the absence of exceptional sales that had boosted profits last year. Compagnie Ivoirienne d'Électricité, CIE, and CFAO Côte d'Ivoire also declined by more than 6% each, reflecting investor caution after their earnings announcements. For investors holding these stocks, these dips don't necessarily mean structural weakness. They're often short-term corrections, as funds rotate into higher growth sectors like textiles and services, where companies such as Uniwax and Servair are currently leading the way. Now, let's turn to the bond market. The The total capitalization of the bond market remained almost stable at 10,964 billion francs CFA, up just 0.01% from the previous week. Trading activity stayed strong with more than 121,000 bonds exchanged, worth about 1.2 billion francs CFA. The most traded instrument was the Burkina Faso Treasury Bond, 10-year, with a 6.50% coupon, which alone accounted for nearly 68% of total volume. About 83,500 bonds exchanged for a total of 826 million francs CFA. This shows that investors remain highly interested in sovereign debt securities, which are viewed as safer investments in times of global uncertainty, particularly for those seeking predictable returns without the volatility of equities. So, what can we take away from this week? The market remains resilient, liquidity is improving, and investor confidence continues to grow. The strongest momentum right now is in services and consumer sectors, especially textiles and air transport services. And the coming week looks just as promising. Analysts from Daba Pro have identified several interesting short-term opportunities across both industrial and financial stocks, based on strong fundamentals and potential dividend prospects. But remember, the exact names of these stocks are exclusive to Daba Pro subscribers. That's where the real advantage lies. Daba Pro is your premium subscription that helps you make the most of investing in Africa. Every week, you'll receive exclusive recommendations, detailed analysis, and key market data to help you invest with confidence. To get your weekly stock picks and enjoy reduced investment fees, subscribe now to Daba Pro. With Daba Pro, you don't just follow the markets, you stay ahead of them. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Daba Markets Talk podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with another update. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, follow us, and share with friends. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always do your own research or consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. And download the Daba app on your app store to start investing in African stocks, bonds, and manage portfolios through your phone and find other helpful content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing your financial knowledge.